Boom. I'm leading the show. Boom. Perfect.
Okay, so boom. Okay, so balls. We got them.
Oh,
You
for
know what
sure.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
Boom.
No way. This is crazy, dude. Right when you open it,
Right?
your balls will thank you. Oh my goodness. Let's take a look in here. So it comes with the bag. Assuming.
Yeah, those are all the guards.
Oh, the guards for the just like the different clippers and stuff. Oh, sweet charger, etc.
Yeah.
Comes with a nice little carry bag for it, so you don't get everything mixed up. The main part.
Look at how good that feels.
The plastic on it is real smooth and nice. It
Bro,
feels
because you
pretty
could take it in the
durable.
shower. That's the thing.
Exactly. It's not rattling or anything. It's well
Nope.
put together.
Press the little button. Press the little button.
Oh, it's got a light.
It has got the light, bro.
It's got a light so you can see.
Yeah. If you want the best balls of your life, you already know what to do. Use promo code OKSB over at manscaped.com. I'll give you 20% off plus free shipping.
20%.
Plus free shipping. Best balls of your
Unbeatable.
life. Okay, so ball. Now, everyone knows what their kind of baseline is. That's what I'm going to call it. I'm going to call it baseline.
Okay.
So everyone knows what their baseline is. And then sometimes there's feelings that you feel sometimes above that and sometimes below that. And that's called feeling off. That's called not feeling like yourself.
Being out of it.
Your optimal self. So, okay, so boom. Not feeling like yourself, bro.
Boom. It's something I feel like most people probably feel. I mean, I can't speak for everyone, but I know that I've definitely felt not like myself before in situations and just times in my life where I felt like I was different or like outside of myself, you know. And from what I've learned or from what I can gather from all of that, I would just say that most of the time when you're not feeling like yourself, you tend to be at a crossroads in your life where you're making decisions, right? Like I have a big decision to make and I don't know what to do with myself and I don't know how to act necessarily because I've never experienced this before.
Right.
And so all these new things and all these things that you're acting out of character, doing differently, make you feel as if though you're a different version of yourself, which gives you that disembodiment kind of I'm not myself feeling.
Yeah. And whenever you do something that isn't yourself, right? Whenever that happens, you always feel, whenever you do something that is not in your character, quote unquote, you let yourself down. And I feel like that leads to a lack of self-esteem.
Most definitely.
You know what I'm saying? For instance, I usually don't nap on the beach, bro. But I did. And I paid the repercussions. Look at my face, y'all. Like this right here, burnt. I usually don't nap on the beach, but I did. Right?
So
Now, with that being said, now what I'm trying to say is when it comes to character and when it comes to doing something outside of your character, feeling off, it's not about what other people see about you that makes the difference. It's all about you versus you. You going against yourself and what you said you would and wouldn't do and doing something outside of that. Right? You ever had experiences like that?
Oh, most definitely.
Yeah.
Several across the board. I can sometimes just specific ones and sometimes like over the span of a few weeks I feel like I've been acting out of character or I feel alien, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can recall it was probably like not even 3 or 4 months ago. I just remember I'm usually the type of person that likes to hang out a lot and I spend my time with lots of people.
You're like a social person.
I'm a people person.
You're an
for
extrovert?
sure.
Would you say?
Oh, 100%.
Cool.
And I remember I just went that entire week and a half without speaking to anyone.
Damn.
And I just felt so weird the whole time. I was
Yeah.
like, what is going on? Like,
It's not you. That's not
what's
you.
going on? And I just felt, I don't know. I felt not bad, but it just felt
Off.
Not off even to a degree, more like a little bit wrong, but not wrong. It just felt like, have you ever like seen an unsatisfying video where they almost get it perfect? That's what it felt like the whole time. And so what helped me break out of that so to speak, was I relied on a friend. Like, friends really do break you out of that feeling. I would say 9 times out of 10 when you're getting into a place like that, rely on others. You know what I'm saying? Like,
If you have a good support system,
exactly.
because sometimes that could go the wrong way.
Yeah, true. If you don't have
that
good
could go the
friends.
wrong way. You know what I'm saying? So me personally, I know all about feeling off.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I spent the greater part of my life without knowing that I was bipolar. And when I got diagnosed bipolar, looking at the lens of the diagnosis back on other times of my life, it made perfect sense.
I bet.
Because when other people were stable in themselves, I only saw windows of that stability.
Mm-hmm.
And so I spent the better part of my life constantly feeling off, constantly unsettled, constantly not getting a grounding of who I am or my emotions or my thoughts or my reactions. And I was very unpredictable. And if you can't predict yourself, you can't make certain promises to other people, whether that be a friendship or a relationship. And, you know, recently I've come to better terms with it. I'm not as immature. I tried to deny it at first, just being a hard ass about it. I thought that the doctors were fake, but you know, when it comes down to it, like, I know that they know what they're talking about. And when I really realized that, yeah, that is what it is, it is what it is.
Yeah.
So there's that type of off, right? There's like a chemical imbalance off. Like some people really constantly are juggling with feeling on and off.
Yeah, like in your case where you're having that chemical imbalance,
right?
And like there's something going on with the mind. But I think that a lot of people just do this to themselves by focusing too much on others, like looking out like, oh, I'm not this cool, I'm not that cool, I'm not doing the most with everybody else. I think that we often do that to ourselves. Or like when you overanalyze things that you had no control over, like, chill, dude, like work last week, you were late. Big deal.
Yeah.
In the grand scheme of things, like, sure, it was uncharacteristic of you, but is it the end of the world? No. You
Right.
don't need to hang on those things.
Yeah. Like feeling off for me is one of those things where it's like, it's almost like a choice whether you want to go into it or not. Because for instance, right? I used to have really bad social anxiety. Why was that? Well, it was because one, I always wanted to be accepted no matter where I was. So, all right. So for instance, right? Not that long ago, right? Last weekend, I was at a soiree. I was at a little party, right? And it was a little crazy. It was a little too much for my liking, right?
Okay.
There were people there that were a little sketch. The situation was sketch. As soon as we pulled up, there was a fight going on outside. I was like, when I was like 17, this environment was lit. It was cool. This is where I wanted to be. Now, absolutely not, right? But I'm here now, right? And so I'm feeling off. I'm feeling off. And then I asked myself, wait, am I feeling off or is the environment not my environment? And I have to make a decision whether I'm going to sway for the environment or I'm going to be myself in another environment. See, when I was younger, I would sway for the environment.
Embrace the environment. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I not just embrace the environment, but like change my whole being. And that would be feeling off, right? I was feeling off in a different way where it was like, I'm in this environment, right? I don't necessarily love it, but I'm here. I'm going to tolerate it because I'm socially flex. And then so now that I'm there, what ends up happening is I have two choices. I could either look like I'm a lame, I could look like an introvert that's in a party.
The wallflower.
Yeah, the wallflower blossoming by myself, right? Just doing my little jiggy, you know?
In the back corner. For
Right.
Sure.
Or I could look at that guy that's getting all the attention as the hype man, as the go-to, as the most lit in the room, the most high, and be like, I'm going to emulate that. I'm going to download that information, emulate it, but then I'm going to be off in a different way where I'm pretending to be somebody that I'm not.
Make your own variation
Of that, because I want that social validation. And I'm not going to lie. If I have to be brutally honest, I did see somebody who was gaining so much attention, right? I was a wallflower, seeing him get all that attention. And in that very moment, I said to myself, that's his moment. But at the other side of the spectrum, I was also like, I want to compete. I want to
have my moment.
I want to have my moment, right?
Exactly.
But this isn't my fishbowl. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, this just isn't me. And so sometimes feeling off isn't just you. It can also be like an environmental thing.
Yeah.
But I went home knowing that at least I was me. Like, yeah, I was a blossoming wallflower, and, you know, maybe somebody saw me and was like, you know, he's pretty cool or whatever. And maybe I didn't get attention that night, but at least I went home that night knowing that I was me, and it wasn't freaking cringe. The fact that I tried to be somebody else.
And I think it's great that you made that distinction. I think that's an excellent example of like times when people think they're feeling off, but really it's just not your setting. Like, you as an individual have a setting, like a scenario in which you're
your optimal setting.
Yes, exactly. You have a scenario where you're at your best. And you were able to make that distinction where other people sometimes are not, and they may think it's them instead of the environment. Like, if you're a quiet, shy person and someone drags you along to a party, you might think, oh, this is so overwhelming, and like, what am I doing here? I don't feel okay. But really, it's not your fault.
No,
you're in the wrong place for you.
Yeah.
And so making that distinction is super important. And I think that the best way to gauge whether or not you're feeling yourself is the moments that make you smile, man. I mean, are you smiling genuinely, or are you not smiling? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The things that make you smile make you who you are. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, part of the reason I'm bringing it back to the bipolar is the reason why I made it so tough in certain situations is because I've been absolutely both. I've been absolutely introverted and absolutely extroverted, which makes it so hard because depending on my chemical situation, depends on if I'm going to go all the way there or not.
Yeah, those swings probably made it hard to find that middle zone where you're comfortable in.
Yeah. And sometimes I did want to break out, and, you know, I have a competitive nature in me that wants to be the man in every situation. But at the same, you know what I'm saying? We all want to be Denzel of our movie.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's not like that. And, you know, that's feeling off in a social situation. Now, feeling off out of nowhere.
Yeah, like
and
just by yourself.
This is one of the hardest ones because if you're off in a situation, that situation is here today, gone tomorrow.
Exactly. It was the
you
situation.
could pass that off, right? If you're in a bad relationship and you're feeling off, well, you know what I'm saying? That was a relationship.
Yeah,
and that could be
wrong.
good today, gone tomorrow, right? Feeling off when absolutely nothing is happening to you and everything is going right is one of the most frustrating feelings of all time because there's no reason. You almost feel ungrateful. It's happened to me. I felt ungrateful in my own life. Like, why am I feeling off? Yeah. I have everything going for me. I have this and that, X, Y, Z, and I still am feeling off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and it's hard to put a thumb on exactly what causes that and exactly for everyone, so to speak. But I remember in that when I was talking about earlier, that week that I was really feeling off, I remember that feeling, the kind of I like what you said there. I kind of felt not necessarily ungrateful, but like a weird in between, but definitely some parts ungrateful. And then I snapped out of it when my friend gave me a yank and told me to come over and hang out with the boys. I was like, Kavika, what are you doing? You live in Hawaii. You have a full-time job. You're making enough to feed yourself and go do the things you like. Why have you been sitting at home this whole time? You know what I mean? And I think the number one thing that you can do when you're feeling off about yourself is to focus non-selfishly, but focus on yourself. Like, if you feel off, then something is not making you happy or something is wrong. And you need to just take some time, work on yourself in a productive, non-selfish way. Yeah.
I think that I like what you said there because I think that it all has to do with a change, a crossroad, right? For me, when somebody's feeling off, it's always an indicator of it's a crossroads, like you said earlier, right? It's where you can make a change for the better or for worse. Sometimes off, quote unquote, is just an indicator that, hey, you know what I'm saying? Right now, what was working for me in the past isn't going to work for me now or in the future. The relationship I'm in isn't working for me now or in the future. And instead of guilting yourself, Man, I can't tell you how many times I've guilted myself into staying in situations, whether it be friendships, relationships, jobs.
So true.
You guilt yourself for this off feeling, thinking it's other things. No. Listen to you, man. Listen to you, because I really do believe, I don't believe that we're gods, but I do believe that everybody has a higher power within themselves, like the best version of them that's talking to them. And when you're in the situation where you're tolerating bullshit, I kind of feel like in that moment, your highest self is like, man, fuck this.
What the hell?
Yeah. You're letting this person talk to you like, huh? You're letting them do what? Nah, bro. We're not tolerating that anymore.
Get that out of here.
You know? Yeah. And I'm not sitting here. I'm not one of these like false motivational speakers by any means, because I've taken a lot of shit, right?
It's unavoidable.
There are some sacrifices that I'm willing to make in terms of being off, right? There are some times where you do need to make sacrifices in a hard situation, you know, to help you grow. For instance, like I'm terrified of heights. I went through aerosol school, which is literally like rappelling and helicopters and all that BS, right? I'm terrified of heights. It made me a better person, even though I was feeling off. So you also have to make the distinction between what's good off and what's bad off. You know what I'm saying?
And then you'll be better off.
And then you'll be better off.
Yeah.
We're doing a survey around the country on the way population handles themselves and speaks and deals with their friends and interact with their peers.